Pollywogs filled the puddles, nasturtiums filled the windows of our school. For us, the wolves, pink roses grew in between.
Our grandmother and grandfather who lived there were in the flower contest because the times while they were there, they held these huge big contests with Butchart Gardens actually. They would have these contests and they were amazing flowers.
There was always the flower shows. Everybody had gardens, and of course it was midsummer, and it was always down at the big hall. Big hall, that was considered big. And of course, being affiliated with Butchart's, originally being Butchart's Gardens supplied, I remember my mom and dad just sitting down and writing out what seeds and what plants and whatnot, and it was all free, it all came, and so there was all the competitions, and there was a flower show where they did, and the vegetables and so on, and I think the big highlight was they always had hired somebody and we got ice cream and we got pretty dresses made for us, etc. They used to have a dance afterwards, but I wasn't of an age that I could go to, but my older sisters would go to.
And that's why the place had such a good name for growing roses. You could grow the most beautiful roses down there with no effort whatsoever because of the lime dust.
Yeah, everybody had a garden, and you know, I remember Mrs. Lowe had a beautiful garden. She used to spend all her time out in the garden and making sure it was really nice. And
then every spring we used to plant those flower boxes,
Out
at school.
And we were good at that because we had the training at home.
Out the window at home.
And we always had window boxes that we did with nasturtiums. Well, about this time, maybe April, we put seeds in the window boxes and have nasturtiums that went down almost to the ground. Things really grew good in Bamberton. I always had a garden, a big garden, and we had our own vegetables, and except when the deer came and ate them. And he came down through the things into my dad's beautiful garden, and he always planted potatoes because I can remember having lots of potatoes we had. And we had beets and carrots and all that stuff, and those stupid deer would come and eat the tops off everything. Peas, and my dad was so mad. He built fences and stuff, but the deer could always get in. Anyway, they always came down from the manager's houses, down from the highway, and they knew to come down to his house because he had probably the best vegetable garden along that walkway. And they'd get them. Anyway, the deer came down through by the arbutus tree where we always got our cement off of the leaves, and came down through there and came into the garden, and Dad was so mad when he got off work, I can remember. So Mom was making supper. I can remember that because of what happened. Anyway, he said, "I'm taking that deer and I'm getting it out of here. I'm going to take it up to the highway." And she said, "Well, Mel, that's a long way." And he said, "I'm taking it to the highway and then I'll be done with it." So he gets it and he follows him up, chases it up to the highway, and he comes in the door and he says, "Well, Bessie," he said, "it won't come back now. I took it right up to the highway and I watched it bound across." So she said, "Mel, turn around." There was the deer right in the yard again. Followed him all the way back.